It was very touching. First of all, the sculptures themselves were emotional. Although they're made out of stone and metal, they were very emotional. Two of the sculptures had my Auschwitz number on them. So that was extremely meaningful to me.
How did that come about? How did you meet that?
Well, I've known the family Ohring for many, many years. And many years ago, he called me up and he said, you know, I'd love to use your number on a sculpture if you don't mind. I said, fine. I think it's very good for posterity because there's so few of us that are left. And then I got a phone call maybe 2 weeks ago that he did make two sculptures and he's presenting the sculptures at this affair here, at this talk.
What was your reaction when you first saw it?
I was, wow, I was very surprised. I haven't seen them before. And especially his explanations, it was very touching. And I wish I could afford them. I would buy them for my family.
Speaking about the number, do you remember the day you got that number?
Absolutely.
Please tell me about that day.
Yeah, I was exactly 5.5 years old. And I was taken away from my mother in Auschwitz in Birkenau, where I was with her before. And I was taken into the children's camp, Zigeunerlager, because they had killed 40,000 gypsies and they had room for the children. So I remember standing on line with a young woman who was after that killed. She gave each one of us a number. And I remember watching as the needle went in and out. And she said to me, forget your name. Now, I didn't know what a number was. And she said, you are now 27,633. Remember it? Remember it. You have no name. This is your name now. And then she gave me a little rag. She said, fill it with water and then press it tightly so that it doesn't swell, because if you rub, it will swell. And I remember her hand was shaking as she was doing the numbers for all the little children. So a very memorable day, extremely memorable day.
And the woman who was doing it was a German woman? Or?
No, must have been a Jewish prisoner in Auschwitz. She was a prisoner who was forced to do this kind of work, because after that, after she had tattooed all of us, she disappeared, and she must have gone to the crematorium. We were taken from a town called Tomashow-Mazowiecki. It's central Poland. And my grandparents were all killed. When you say, did I lose any relatives, ask the question, what are my relatives? Who are they who were left? We lost everybody. But I was very lucky. My mother and father survived with me. My mother lost 10 brothers and sisters and all their family. My father lost 7 brothers and sisters and all their families. They were all married with children. From my town, there were 5,000 children, and at the end of the war, there were 5 children left. So our entire little town was gone. Oh boy, unfortunately, I remember them very often. There was the ghettos, and then the labor camp. The labor camp is where my parents left every day, and they left me alone in a tiny room because they were afraid that I would be killed, since they had the children's selection where all the children were killed. I have a lot of memories being in the trains for days. I don't know how long it took, maybe 2.5 days. Sometimes when I'm in the subway and it's very crowded, and the memories of the train where the bodies hold you together comes to my mind. I sort of live with many memories on a daily basis.
Do you, at that time, at that age, did you know what was going on, or did your parents try to...
No, my parents were, I think this is what saved my mind in a sense. My parents told me the truth. My mother, when she said to me, be quiet or you'll be killed, don't give your hiding place away, I I knew what she meant. And when she said, no, you're safe right now, don't be afraid of the dogs, she said. Those German Shepherds, don't be afraid. They won't kill you unless you run, and you're not going to run. So I knew I was safe. Every place, every time we saw something absolutely terrible, she would point it out to me and talk about the dangers and what could happen to me and what will not happen to me. I felt very safe with her.